Weak hips, or do you always injure something whenever you try to strengthen them? Well, we are going to show you the best starting point for you. First, we're going to show you how your hips can move, then how you can build up your strength from zero, and finally, how to safely build tension so you can use that to create lasting strength. Hips go forwards, backwards, sideways, sideways. One more time. Forwards, backwards, sideways, sideways. For happy hips, you need to make sure that you're working on all four directions. Over time, you want to build up to using exercises like the banded march to improve your hip flexion, the hamstring slider to improve your hip extension, and the side plank march, which works on your abduction and your adduction at the same time. But we're not quite there yet. If your hips are super flexible and there isn't much strength in them, these exercises could be too much for you, but that's okay. Here's how we can take the same elements and make them achievable so you can consistently build your strength. First thing we're going to work on is our forwards motion, so our hip flexion. So Jenni's going to lie down and we're going to do a drill that we tuck our knees up to the chest and then we put down one foot. So we're working with this leg here. What Jenni's going to do is use her hands to block herself off as she does this motion with the legs. She resists herself. What we really want to check here is that the neck is really relaxed and the breathing is staying relaxed. From here, Jenni starts to push into her leg with about 10% effort, trying to push the knee down, and she resists herself. You want to now start to gradually build up tension. So she then pushes at about 20% effort and then 30% effort that she can still maintain. Your sets for this would be 3 sets of 10 seconds. So if you're pushing really hard and you can't maintain 10 seconds, then that's just too much. So you want to find like a 70% effort. So you'll do 3 sets on one leg, and then you'll swap legs and you'll push down on the other one. So you should feel this here and here in the lower abs as well. We're working on our hip flexion, trying to bring that knee up. For our backwards motion, working on our hip extension, we're going to use a hamstring progression. So Jenni's going to lengthen herself out nice and long, legs are out straight, and then she's going to push her heels into the ground, squeeze her bum and lift the hips off. From here, we're going to focus one side at a time. So the floor is now where the hands were before. You're trying to block yourself and pull in, so that you should feel the hamstring really working. You go one leg at a time here. So Jenni right now is pulling more with her left leg. And what we want to do here is go to 3 different points. So Jenni then brings the leg up a little bit. Same idea, tries to keep the hips up, everything squeezed, and pulls in, really trying to focus on just the hamstring. And then one final point with the leg, and tries to pull everything in nice and tight there. Again, we're looking for that 70% effort and being able to hold it for 3 sets of 10 seconds. And we do this on both sides as well with those 3 different points. If you're really struggling, can't get the hips up off the ground at all, you can have the hips down and just focus on just the hamstring itself without having the hips fully extended. That will build you up to that point. For our inwards sideways, we're going to use a half straddle position. This is going to work the adductors, so the inside of the leg we're working on here. So again, the floor is our anchor point, and what Jenni's starting to do here is trying to squeeze in. So it's as if she's going, but with her legs. So from here, we gradually build that tension up again. Have a soft bend in the knee. If you feel pressure in your knee or like your knee's caving sideways and you don't feel it on the inside of the leg, then it's too much for you. So bend the knee slightly, adjust your position, and then try and get that same level of tension and bring it up to around that 70% mark. For your 3 different 10 seconds, change the foot position, so put the foot slightly in front of you as well, push in from there, and then behind you as well, like that. So remember, your muscles work in loads of different positions, so a little bit of variance goes a long way. So still just do your 3 sets of 10 seconds, but change the foot position each time. Lastly, we have our outways sideways, so our abduction. We have a box here, and all we're going to do is put our foot into it. You can use a wall or a door frame or a small child, anything that you have, you can just poof, put the foot into. We want to build up that tension in and around the hip. Make sure you're not standing with your bum away out like this. You want to tuck the pelvis underneath and stand up nice and tall and straight, and just go out to the side ever so slightly. Building up that tension again to find that sweet spot of 70%. And then you have your 3 separate positions again as well. So you can go leg slightly behind and leg slightly in front, testing both sides. Remember, with all of the drills, we're looking to build up to 3 sets of 10 seconds with each one. And that is our 4 different hip directions. Learning how to build tension isn't just about strength itself, it also improves your overall body awareness. If you're really flexible and bendy, then you need to learn how to put tension into your positions when you're moving so that you're not just accidentally going through the motions and your joints just don't feel like they're being supported in the right way. Building strength on a wobbly foundation is really difficult. If your body senses that it's not stable somewhere, it will create tightness to create a false stability for you. This then in turn makes muscles feel tight, and that is going to lead you to want to stretch more, which puts you in a vicious cycle of stretching and then potentially hurting yourself and feeling like you're not getting anywhere. You want to learn how to build and control the tension that you're using and know how to go between 10% or 70% for any exercise that you're using so that you're not just being in the position, you're being strong in the position. Play around with these 4 exercises that we've given you and get practice going between a lower percentage and a higher percentage. Just make sure that you don't push so hard that you do actually hurt something. So play it safe at the start, but you will get better at ramping that up, and then you'll be able to tolerate more tension and it'll make everything better. With a bit of practice, your current 100% will eventually become your 70%, and you'll just have gotten stronger without needing any equipment. When your hips start to feel stronger and you do have more confidence, make sure to move on to the exercises that we showed at the start of the video to keep progressing things. If you want to know how to assess your full body and fix any imbalances that you may have or any weak areas that you are trying to strengthen and you keep getting stuck, make sure to head over to our website, tommorrison.uk, and check out the simplistic mobility method.